Super sweet penguin. Almost dropped him. Wouldn't that be awful? Here I am collecting these guys, spend money on them, and then trying to show them off, and I'm going to drop them. Okay, we're at Freakin' Antiquin'. I have found this shelf, and I have plans for it. Okay, we got the shelf that we got at Freakin' Antiquin'. We got it up on the wall, and now I'm going to start putting my jar bank, bottle bank collection in it. All right, I am about to share with you what I call my COVID collection, because of course this collection started when COVID was, well, when it first came out, so early 2020. Couldn't go anywhere except for like the antique malls and such. Everywhere else it seemed like they were closed. So we were walking around one day at Country Classics, and I saw this guy, and I was like, oh, I know I've seen these before, but I really want him. I didn't get him. I just went home and then told my husband, I should have got that jar. So you know what? He bought it for me, I think the very next day, and brought it home. So this was my first bank jar. And this is Lucky Joe Bank, Nash Underwood, and it was a mustard jar. So back in the day, they used to make these figural jars, and when the product inside was all used up, then you would have this jar that you could use as a bank. And many companies did this, and I'm about to share with you the collection that I have. Now this was a mustard jar, and it was a Plotchman Harrison mustard jar out of Chicago. And he's just kind of a roly-poly little man. And yeah, I put a marble in him. But he's pretty great. And this guy is a French's mustard guy, and he can either stand like this or lean forward. I guess that was to get the mustard out better. And here we have Donald Duck, and he was a mustard jar also. I believe Nash's. And I've got some change in him. So it's kind of hard to see, but that's Donald. I probably should add, I got Donald Duck on eBay, but the lady lived about 40 minutes from here, so I was able to meet her, pick him up, and I think I bought like 5 other jars from her also that I will be sharing. And these two guys, they were eBay finds also. Most all of my collection I got on eBay because, like I said, this started during quarantine. Okay, this one is made to look like a clock, and it says it's a Kitty Bank prepared mustard, and it's another Nash, and it says try our tick relish. And that is another one that I bought from the lady off from eBay that is local to me, and I believe her name's Mindy. Next we have a cat, and in one of her other lives she was a Grapette soda syrup bottle. Kind of hard to see because I've got all the marbles in her, but I really did not want to dump all of them out. But I love her. I think she's pretty cute. Next we have this little piggy, and he was once a syrup bottle. And like the rest of them, he's probably from around the 1940s. I think he's really cute. Oh, well, pig hands, you know, and a little pigtail there. Here we have another little piggy, and he was an olive bottle, or olive jar, I should say. Gattuso, and that is out of Montreal, Canada. And he is super cute. Got man hands again, but a little piggy tail. I think this is my only other little piggy. And he is by Forbes. Prepared Mustard. Tea and Coffee Company, St. Louis, Missouri. But he's a little tiny one. I'm not finding a little pigtail. There it is. There's the pigtail. Next we have Lincoln himself. And I believe he was a syrup bottle. And they have different sizes. I only have him. I only have this one size. So, yeah, I think he was a syrup bottle. What's sad about this whole deal is I do have a reference book, and I've not even been able to look through it real good. And I don't know where I've put it. I know it's in a box or tote in my shed for safekeeping, and yeah, I don't even know where it is. So I just have to go by memory of what I purchased them as. And he also came from that eBay sale, the lady named Mindy. And I like him. I think he's pretty cute. Now this right here is a big gal. And she used to be a candy container, and they actually would put, a paper, what do you call that? An insert that, gave her face color, and then she was just filled with candy. I think she's lovely. She also came from that Mindy, and she actually talked me into this one because I wasn't sure that this was a bank because there's no slot in the top. But I loved her because she was a nice figural jar. And I thought, well, why not? I hadn't seen one like her, and I've only found one like her online. Well, that was the last time I looked. They might be all over the place now. But I like her, and I put a little dog by her usually. Here's that little dog now. It says Creamy Lime Bath Bubbles. Whenever I see it listed online, it usually says it was a candy container. So I don't know for sure, but I'm going to go with what the cap says. But yeah, I usually just set this little guy by her. And this is just a little log cabin syrup container. And I usually, when I'm displaying it, put it by Abraham Lincoln, of course. Now this dapper gentleman is a fox. And he's got some dimes in him. But he is double-sided. And I believe he's a Crest beverage. What does it say? Okay, the bottom of this says H. Fox and Company. I thought it was a Crest or a Grapette soda bottle. Syrup soda bottle, but I'm not 100% sure. But nonetheless, he is fabulous. Then next I have this super sweet penguin. Almost dropped him. Wouldn't that be awful? Here I am collecting these guys, spend money on them, and then trying to show them off, and I'm gonna drop them. I really don't know anything about him. I would guess he was made by Snowcrest, but I'm not 100% sure. But he's going to have to go on the top shelf because he is a tall boy. So I'll put him by Mr. Fox. And this guy is a Snowcrest syrup bottle. I don't know a lot about him. I guess that you would use the syrup and mix it with water. And this bottle was made in Salem, Massachusetts in the 1940s. But look at that face. It's so cute. He's got this one has a little bit of schmutz that I can't get off. But I don't care. I love him. He had syrup in him. I'm sure that's syrup from 80 years ago. So he was one of my first that I got from eBay, of course. But I don't know who the seller was. But that's okay. I love him. And I think next we'll look at a monkey. This, my friends, is Jocko, and he was one of my most anticipated pieces. Every time I would bid on him, somebody else would buy him for much, much more than what I was willing to pay. But he had mustard in him, and he was made by the Forbes Tea and Coffee Company also, or distributed by, I should say. He is wonderful. I just really, really love him, and I was so happy to get him in my collection. But he was not my highest priced jar. That will come later. But look at that face. Yeah, I had to have him. Here we have another mustard jar, Nash's mustard, and it's the Liberty Bell. And this one is usually easy to get your hands on and one of the least expensive, but I still love it and wanted it for my collection. Now this little potbelly stove used to have, I want to focus, sorghum in it, and nobody ever bothered to cut the slot. So you would peel that paper off, and then you open it up on the bottom and take the paper out. There'd be a slot. So I'm just leaving it that way. Now this one was distributed by Kraft, and I believe it had either jelly or peanut butter in it, and it's from the 1980s, so it's not real old, but I still think it's cute and worth having. But these are really easy to come by, and they're usually only maybe $4 to $7, so that would be a good one if you want to start a collection. Pretty inexpensive. This is one of my smallest, and it says Battleship Prepared Mustard, and it's just a little barrel. And I bought that in a lot with a couple of others, but I cannot remember which others. I'm telling you, it's only been a few years I've been collecting these, but I cannot remember. I need to be writing things down. Then next up I've got this lion, and it's made by Vandor, and it's marked 1974. And I also have an elephant that is made same year, same company, and I cannot figure out what they were manufactured for, what they held inside. Maybe nothing. Now here's the elephant, but these are nice, thick, sturdy, chunky. I love them. I'm glad to have them in my collection. These two were a little pricey because I couldn't find any for sale, and then one day it popped up in my eBay that they were for sale, and I probably gave a little too much. Then I have this elephant, and it is a Grapette soda syrup bottle, and I think he's pretty great. Then there's this elephant, which is my third and my last, and it says Lucky Jumbo Bank. So I just want to show them all three by each other so you can see they're all different. Now I know a lot of people don't like clowns, but it's a Grapette soda syrup bottle, and he's a clown. These are very easy to find when you're out shopping. I think he's fun, and you need a clown when you've got, circus animals. So he's going to be on this shelf with the lion and the elephants. Okay, here we are. This is the last jar bank that I have to share, and this is also made by Gattuso Bambino Olives, and that's out of Canada. And I just love this owl. I like all the detail. I'm trying to get it to focus, see if we can get in a darker spot. But he was one of my favorites to get. I say that, and honestly, I can't imagine not having one of these in my collection. I love them all, and I'm still looking for a few more. Now, as far as I could see, that Gattuso company. Okay, I got the owl from them, and I got this chubby pig guy. They also have a rabbit, but I cannot get my hands on the rabbit. It always goes way too high and usually has like a chip or something. And I don't really want to buy him with a chip. I did buy the monkey with like his glass is kind of hazed, but I don't really care. I think he's great. But the rest of these are pretty pristine, except for the lids, but the lids were used. So that's okay with me. But I'm looking for the rabbit olive jar, and then there's several of the Snowcrest syrup bottles that there's no way I can afford them. There's another clown, and there's, what else is there? A penguin and a seal, I believe, and they go for hundreds. And this collection, for each piece, I paid anywhere from $4 all the way up to $150. And I know that's crazy, but it was COVID. It was a crazy time. But here, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a look one more time at my collection. I love it. I'm glad I found this shelf. I've actually been looking for a cubby shelf. I had a small metal one, and I loved it, but I couldn't fit them all in it, and I want them all together. I don't want them throughout the house or even throughout the room. I want my collection together. So here's the top shelf. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've been wanting to show this collection, but I wanted to wait till I had a spot where I could put them all in the same place. So, do you collect Figural jars or bottle banks? And which one's your favorite? Let me know. Thanks for watching my video. I was excited to share this collection with you. It's one of my favorite collections that I have. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Well, I forgot this guy. Goodness sakes. It says Tanker Systems Saved. It's hard to see because I filled it up with coins a while back. But I forgot him. How could I do that? So, and I also didn't tell you there's 28 in all. Oh my goodness.